welcome to XOR Basics Plus. In today's session we are looking at the if, and, or formula. Now when we last looked at the if formula, we were literally saying to Excel, if this then that, if not this then something else. With the and the or functions nested in an if formula, we can actually give it a lot more criteria to look at. So with the data that I've just put together today, we're looking at some sport teams. We've got 40 players, their dates of birth, to give them their age, and that's just a quick formula to work out age. Are they under 18? No or yes is the answer there, and that's that simple if formula that we've already learned. So if E8, which is the age of 16, is less than 18, then it's a yes, and if it's incorrect, it's a no. The next thing is the location of the player and what sport they're looking to play. So what we're going to do today is start with the simple formula, the if formula, and we're going to put in some additional criteria to work out, for instance, the cricket and volleyball players by area that are over 18. So to start this, very simple, equals if, open bracket. Now the first part we want to have a look at is we want to say, are they over 18 and do they live in this area? So the header is our area, north, east, south, west. So the first piece we're going to say is if, open bracket, and, open bracket. These are the two pieces that need to be true. Okay, so and means that anything you put in this part of the formula must be true to give a result. So the first piece is we're calling out the age. The age must equal no. So I'll put in $F and 4, which is cell F4, and I'm locking in cells because I want to drag these formulas across so that I don't have to type them in 4 times. So if cell F4 equals, and we want the result to be no, in parentheses. Now that's the first part. The second part is we want the location to be the same as the header, north. So we do comma, still within the and parentheses bracket. The next part we want to say is, does G4, once again, $sign to lock in that column, does G4 equal I3, which is the header. Now I'm going to hit F4 there because I want to lock that cell in, and in actual fact I just want to lock in the row because we're actually going to drag the whole formula across. So we want this formula in column J to be east, K, south, L, west, and so on. And then we look at the other criteria where what we want to have a look at, for instance, is if they want to play cricket or volleyball, then we'll add an indicator. So far in the end piece, we've got F4 must equal no and G4 must equal I3, which is north. So the location must equal north and they must be over 18. So we put another comma for the next part of the criteria, and we're going to put in the next part of the formula, which is or, open bracket. This is where you have variables. So what we want to say is the sport, which is in column H4, should be cricket or volleyball, whereas in the first part of this we've said it must equal, under 18 must equal no and location must equal north. They're fixed requirements, whereas the or is we actually give it a choice. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lock in column H4. So the sport must equal cricket, and comma for the next part of the or formula, or H4, the sport, equals volleyball. Close parentheses. Now we're going to close the OR formula, and we're going to close the AND formula with those two brackets there. Now, if all of that is true, so if the age is greater than 18, the location equals north, and the sport equals cricket or volleyball, we're going to put an X in, just as an indicator. You can put anything. You could put words or numbers. We're just going to put an X in. So we go comma for the next part of the formula, and we're going to put in a capital X if that is true. Now, with the if statement, remember, if it's not true, you also need to tell it to do something. Otherwise, it'll just come up as a false response. So we go comma, and I'm going to put in a blank cell if it's not true, which is just two parentheses. And we're going to close the if formula now. That's closed the entire formula. So just to recap, we're saying if the is the age over 18? So it's the value there is under 18. So we're saying no, it cannot be under 18. So F4 must equal no. G4, the location, must equal I3, which is north. So it must equal over 18, north, and it must equal cricket or volleyball as the sport. If all of that is true, then put an X in the field. If it's not true, leave it blank. Let's hit enter. All right, now we know that should be blank because the location is not north, but everything else is fine. They are over 18 and they do want to play cricket. So what we're going to do is we're going to double click on the corner there where we get the plus sign, double click. That has then pre-filled all of the columns in the data set straight down for you. And instantly you can see we've got north, over 18 and playing cricket. North, over 18 playing volleyball. Another one playing volleyball. So it's instantly telling you, there's the indicator to say it meets the criteria. Now what we can now do, because we fixed those columns with the dollar sign, we can literally Control Shift and down on your formula from I4. That will take you all the way to the bottom of your formula while still holding Shift, arrow across to the fourth column. So you can see we've now highlighted all of those. And if you hit Control and R, it pre-fills your formula all the way across. So now what we've got in J4, it is still looking for, does the age indicator say no? Does the location say J3, equal J3, which is east? And is the sport cricket or volleyball? And yes, it is. So it's now under 18 is no, so it's over 18. Location is east, that marries up, and the sport is cricket. Same thing for south. It's just move the formula along, and this is why you should lock your formulas and your rows where you want that formula to remain looking in that column. The west, again, it's looking at does G4, so does the location equal L3. Remember, we just locked the row so that it would bring everything across. So all of those formulas are now correct, and all we did was put one in. Straight away, we now have our list of all of the people that are playing cricket or volleyball in each location, and that data can then be used however you need it to be. Now you might want to change, I don't want an X, I want a yes. Same thing, you just change that X to a yes. Remember, Control, Shift, and down from your first formula. Control D will actually pull your formula all the way down. Whilst that's highlighted, Shift and the arrow key together, 1, 2, 3, and Control R copies your formula to the right. Control R, R for right. And now we've changed that X to a yes the entire way across. That's it for today. I will do some more on the if and if and or separately, but that gives you a good insight into the power of the if formula and what things it can do. Keep watching, look out for the next video, and keep practicing.